Konnichiwa, and welcome to another episode of Kyoto by Night, Second Breath. Tonight we will continue on, not quite continued on from previous scene with Yoshi and Fu interacting, but the auspicious omens that Fu had noticed has led to them ending up pursuing their own personal plans in the same vicinity of each other. Whether they gravitate towards each other or remain, let's wait and see. So Yoshi, upon awakening, you have a message from your PI contact as you asked him to look into any kind of unusual situations in the underground mall that you had encountered the odd room at. He has provided you with an address that he will be at for you to meet him so that he can discuss in a neutral area the information for you. Is there anything you would like to do before you go to meet him?
Let me turn my microphone on.
There we go.
Trace the dragon's blood. That only works while you're in the area and standing still, right?
The ritual?
Yeah.
Let me just... And you're wanting to know if it is only usable in what situations?
Well, I mean, can you have it cast and have it follow you, or does it pretty much only work in the one area? You get a glimpse and then it fades and you have to cast it again in a different area. I think it's the second type. But
No, it allows you to see all potent lines of chi within visible range. You can identify it as yin or yang, and once you can clearly see them, you can tell where they lead.
Okay.
So, for instance, if you're trying to do this within a city, a good idea would be to get to the top of a building so you could see as much of the city as possible so that you can see the lines. If you do it from like an alley or a street, only if you are luckily where lines are passing will you notice.
Let's find a hill in the general, a hilly, I don't know much about Kyoto, but I assume they might have a hill that in the city.
You can make a wit survival roll.
Uh-oh. Oh. One success.
Okay. Yeah, you can get to an area if you're looking for a natural area. You can get to one that oversees a lot of the city. You know that really the highest area that's not a building would put you into the area that the Shen keep to that you are not supposed to cross over to.
Right.
It's been made very clear that you do not want to encroach upon the territories of the changing breeds.
Right. I'm just trying to find a place where I can look without having to be on the top of a building.
Okay.
That doesn't are places I'm not supposed to go.
Okay. Yeah. So then at that point you spend a chi of whichever kind you choose.
Let's go with the yin.
Okay.
And what do I roll?
You don't have to roll anything.
Okay.
So yeah, overseeing the city, you you can see where various dragon lines. From where you're at, you would basically see all the dragon lines radiating from the dragon nest at the court,
Okay.
and you
And
can tell that some of them lead outside of the city, some of them lead within the city. Once the dragon lines get to the industrial area, like where there's a lot more buildings and whatnot, uh, between your eyesight and the strength of the wall, you can't really see where a lot of those are ending up.
okay. Um, is the area I'm going to in a dragon line or near one?
You can make another wit survival roll.
Okay. Cheese and crackers. 2.
Um, no, it's not. It's not like it wouldn't be obviously near one. If you had the ability to travel along dragon lines, you could probably use it to cross to get within a few blocks of it. But it's not. It's not on a dragon line.
Okay. Well then, I'll go to the meeting place. And by the way, would I need to have streetwise to know what type of reputation this club has?
Yes, you would need that too. If you don't have Streetwise, you can make an intelligence roll with the penalty.
All right. Uh, I'll say, what would you say, 1 success?
So yeah, it's not a well-known club. It is not in the higher class end of the club life. So that's about all that you really know of it. It doesn't really have a distinct reputation, but it's not in a like a secret warehouse kind of scenario.
Okay, I'll gi- given this is part of Japan, I probably wouldn't pack heat anyway. Too many problems. So yeah, I'll go to the club.
Okay. And little Fu, when you rise for the night, that you are intending to meet up with what you're hoping is going to be more added to your retinue.
I think that Fu will first off ensure that she can meet up with some members of her herd to actually fill up her chi reserves to their to at least the point that to her virtue point. She might take 1 extra in yang chi to become temporary yin imbalanced, or yang imbalanced, I should say.
Okay.
But she will go ahead and encourage Jiro to come with her, and she will head to the club after dressing up to the part of being the what's the word I'm looking for? The ostentatious waif on the arm of a very well versed street tough.
Okay. Do you want to do a manipulation subterfuge roll just to see how you've got yourself and Juro dressed for success tonight?
I can do that. Would Smooth help me here?
Yes, Smooth would help you with this.
Alright, I just need to look up Smooth really quick just to make sure that that is what that actually does for me. I think that gives me a -2.
Okay, so let's say difficulty 5 then.
Yep. Manipulation, subterfuge. 3, 2, 5 dice at difficulty by 5. 5 by 5. Ugh. Ugh. Huh. Not good.
All right, but could be worse.
Could be a lot worse.
All right, so after your hunting and you guys got yourselves primped up, you guys head down to the pub. All right, and once you get there, Fu has, what do you guys want to do? It is a loud club. Loud music, bright flashing lights. You can see doorman. He's letting a lot more women in than guys. The guys that aren't dressed very well are kind of getting a little bit more of a run around at the front door. But the girls, basically their dress code doesn't seem to affect anything as long as they're looking innocent or, for want of a better word, skanking it up.
Not sure if Fu fits into either of those two categories at the moment, thanks to her piss poor roll.
So yeah, when you guys get to the front door there, the bouncer just kind of looks down at you and Juro, and he's like, "It's full right now."
She'll cant her head to one side, and she'll look at him and she'll simply say, "No, it's not."
He'll kind of cock a bit of an eyebrow, and he's like, "No, right now only VIPs are getting in."
All right. She'll nod a bit and then sort of look him over and then reach into her pocket. And she's going to take about, what is it, 10,000 yen, I think?
Okay.
I forget what about $100 worth would be.
I think that's actually a pretty good ballpark off the top of my head. I'm not sure what the exchange
The
is.
equivalent of about $100 in yen.
Okay.
But she'll put the bill into her hand and she'll just kind of hold out her hand and she'll be like, or she'll essentially sort of smile at him and shake, kind of grab his hand, shake it. It's like, are you sure we're not on the VIP list?
Okay. Make a charisma. Yeah, just make a charisma and either subterfuge or I guess streetwise, whichever would.
It's all the same.
Okay.
However, this is going to be a difficulty 3 for me if it's base difficulty. Enchanting voice, smooth.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's see if I can fuck this one up too. I don't fuck it up. I almost do.
All right. He takes the bill. He checks his tablet, and he's like, "What was the name again?"
Whoops. She'll gesture to him and see if she can't look at the tablet herself.
Okay. You can do perception empathy.
Well, she wants to have him turn it so she can obviously look.
Okay. Yeah, he's not trying to hide the tablet or anything. You kind of get the impression that he's basically just asking for anybody who's overhearing to give some official weight behind him changing his mind.
Alright, she'll pick two names on there, and just say, "Oh, we are these two."
He nods and lets the two of you guys pass.
And on in she goes, and she is going to seek out, I'm guessing, the couple that she enthralled the last time she was here? Or the last time she dealt with these street toughs?
Yeah, that they have no problem at all spotting them. There's quite a cluster of them up in one of the elevated alcoves. A big group of them taking up about 3 or 4 tables with bottle service. And when they spot you guys, yeah, they're definitely waving you all over and start talking about, these are the guys I was telling you guys about. They're pretty freaky too.
Fu will greet them all with the sort of kind, sort of outgoing exuberance that a young woman who's just completely infatuated with this lifestyle might give off. If you like, I can roll for you.
Yeah. Again, a manipulation subterfuge.
5 successes, depending on difficulty.
Yeah, I think that would pretty much be it. So, yeah, you definitely sell it. You don't quite look the part, but you can definitely sell it in person.
She'll explain that to pass off, like, the reason she's not dressed maybe the same way that they are is that she had a family event that she needed to be at earlier today, and she didn't have time to quite go home and change.
Oh. Yeah, that it sucks when you get dragged into that kind of bullshit. But it's good. It's good to keep your family off your back, so.
Keep them off my back and keep them filtering me money, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, introduce me to your congregation here. We only got to meet some of them last time.
Oh, yeah, by all means, and he starts passing you guys around, introducing you all, and he's like, yeah, and this is Juro and Fu. They're really fun guys. We met them a couple nights back, and they're like, hey, well, this is and he tells you like the real names too. So he's like, oh, this is Akio, and this is Dai, but he's also like, hey, well, this is Red Blade, and giving around some of their less official street names.
She is going to give a look of just impressed flourish each time a code name is given. Essentially, just to be like she is so beyond impressed by each of them. And I will roll for you again. and 4 successes. Each time she meets one of them, she just acts like they are the coolest people on the planet.
All right, and you're Scarlet cycled, so Blush of Health is in effect, and you're able to blush when you need to, so that helps for sure. So yeah, you guys are your demeanor, and you've managed to cover your guys' dress, so they're starting to. And the fact that you do a lot more talking than Juro doesn't seem odd at all. Actually, that kind of you're getting the impression that's giving them the impression that Juro's maybe a little bit more dangerous than he looks, because he's kind of got that strong silent type thing going on, and his little woman's doing all the talking for him because he keeps you in line. So that's kind of helping overcompensate for the fact that he's a little bit nervous and still not quite feeling certain as to what role he's supposed to be playing here, but
every so often she's going to give him like a reassuring look, or hang on him and dote on him in a way that maybe belies just a little bit of her actual growing sort of appreciation of him actually being there. And it's not necessarily sexual. It's just, you're actually playing your part well. I am pleased with you.
And that also bolsters his confidence, because he's been warned what displeasing you could lead to. So, so while they're rubbing shoulders with a minor bike gang, Yoshi, you come to this location, and yeah, it's a club from what you were trying to guess and inquire about earlier. It's a club that wants to be a fancy high-class club, but still hasn't quite shaken the lower end of things. So they're probably cover charge and drinks are more expensive than they should be given the quality in the area, but they're definitely trying to allow people in that are looking a little bit ritzier and filtering out those that aren't quite going to improve their appearance.
Kind of decide whether the gloves are a help or a hindrance. Well, given he usually dresses in something between evening attire and business attire, I think he'll at least try to get through.
Okay. Any specific method, or are you just going to kind of head in like you own the place?
Maybe not own the place, but like I should be there.
Okay. In that case, then, make a charisma and expression.
Okay.
Or charisma and subterfuge.
We'll go with expression.
Okay. So you're totally playing the part to sell it, not trying to lie. Now, you are black cycled, so you're at -1 difficulty in all social rolls with mortals, but that 9 will still give you a success.
Okay.
So, yeah, you come up, and the guy's like, right now we're just letting VIPs in. What's your name?
Tomi Yoshi, I'm expected by someone inside.
Guy looks at his tablet, and after a while he's like, huh, wow, you actually are on the list. He steps aside to let you in.
I'll go in, and is I given any instructions on where to meet?
No, you were just told to meet at this address. It's very loud, a lot of flashing lights, You don't even have to activate any senses. Your skin almost crawls with how much yang energy you're walking through in this place.
Hmm. Not going to be easy to find my person. Need to find. But I'm going to use perception alertness.
Okay.
Try and find him.
Are you gonna try to heighten your senses, or?
I'm not exactly sure how you do that.
You roll your Hun.
Okay.
Difficulty is 6, and then you can heighten your senses just like Auspex 1.
With all the noise and lights, does this seem like it could be a problem for me?
Well, it's a possibility if you accentuate all of your senses. If you go along different, if you try to focus on like scent, I guess focusing on hearing or sight would probably put you at a lot of different risk for distractions. However, another option is you can try to focus on energy, because there's a good chance from the fact that he's your contact, he's picked here for neutral ground diversion, less likely for you guys to be observed, and he's not chosen here because he enjoys it, and this is a place that he hangs out at. So if you wanted to try to focus on the chi in the room, then you would be able to do so to kind of zero in on somebody who is not getting worked up over the energy.
Okay.
The thing with that is that's a perception and yang roll to try to focus in on emotions.
Okay. Do I still have to roll my Hun?
Only if you want to. I guess that's only if you want to enhance your senses.
All right. I'll try focusing on the energy, and I'll roll my perception and yang.
Okay. And you'll also have to spend a point of yang because you're activating life sight.
Oh, okay. All right. Guess I'll be feeding after this. So that would be 5. Two successes?
Yes, 2 successes. So it takes you a little while. There's like, you said you're going to need to feed. Are you feeling hungry at all? How much chi do you have?
3.
3? Okay. So with this activated, you're going to have a much easier time if you choose to hunt while you're in this club, if there's any chi that you want to go for. Even if you have to specifically focus on yin chi, you're going to be able to find people whose dates drag them here that they're bored out of their minds, or perhaps the jaded bartender that really hates the music he's listening to, but this is a job, so he's here. But you are able to find your guy. He's sitting at the bar, and he's just kind of surveying the crowd as he's sitting there. He notices you as you get close.
Is there a mirror by the bar?
Yeah.
Is it red? I don't know how the superstition mirrors work, but since usually bars cover their mirrors with a bunch of bottles, would it still affect me?
Given the situation, no, it's not going to affect you.
Okay then. So
It actually, because you've got repelled by your reflection, right?
no, it just says there was one pic. There's just one said that it's superstitious mirrors.
Yeah. Yeah, so in that case, your reflection kind of has to be used against you like a weapon. So like somebody holding a mirror up in your face, but not just walking past a mirror.
Oh, okay. Good. I'll keep that in mind.
Otherwise, driving would be impossible.
Wait, now that you mention it, yeah.
He nods as you approach.
So try and sit down, trying not to bring any attention to himself or his contact. So, did you get any of the information?
Well, I couldn't find much for exactly what you were looking for, but I did find a couple of things that thought you might be interested to know. So, you got time to talk?
I do.
All right. He leans in really close. So you guys don't have to yell much, so you guys can hear each other and not be overheard too much.
Okay.
So, nothing with that mall specifically. I did interview a few people, and there was a few, I guess what you would say, mild hallucinations that people experienced within a day or two after you had contacted me. But I couldn't find anything specific. There didn't seem to be any murders. There was a few people that were complaining about lights flickering and weird smells, but I mean, nothing really obvious for what you're looking for. However, I did kind of was curious because I'm working another case for someone else. I was wondering if you could help me because it might be something similar. You're asking about murders at the mall, and I haven't heard of any murders at the mall per se. But within about 10 block radius from the mall, there's been approximately 4 women found badly mutilated.
Different or similar each time?
Similar. I don't have a lot of details. I got a buddy on the force who is trying to investigate, but somebody somewhere is blocking the investigation. Basically, it's he thinks that they're linked. He's being told officially they aren't, and they're being just treated as random Jane Does. But he pulls out his tablet and he has a map of the city. He's got the 4 spots marked on the map with dates. He's like, it's almost exactly 2 weeks apart. Their bodies are badly mutilated, and they're all within this area here. And he points to, there's a 4-block strip not too far off from where the mall was.
So the mall looks like it's in the center?
No.
No. Is there any discernible pattern, like where it might happen next, or?
You can make an intelligence enigmas roll.
Okay. Ah, not my luck today.
Sorry, I missed. How many successes was it? Or was there any?
No, it was just I think it was a 6 and a 1.
Okay. You can't see any noticeable pattern for you to be able to predict.
Do the dates have any spiritual significance?
No.
Sorry,
Grant?
Do the dates have any spiritual significance, like events that hold meaning supernaturally?
No, they are. Each date is exactly 13 days from the previous one.
Okay. 13 days. I asked him, do you have any possible pictures of the victims?
No. My contact basically got booted off of the one that he was investigating because of the fact that he was pushing to try to link them together. He's hoping I can help him find something to link it so that he can kind of escalate, but his superior is blocking the investigation. In his words, anyway. Does any of this mean anything to you? Is this perhaps something like what you were looking for?
Well, the fact that they're so close, it does it does make it seem interesting. Did you find out what was anything significant happening at the time of the first mutilation?
Not that I've been able to figure out so far. But if you know of anything significant, hopefully you'll share with me as openly as I share with you.
Of course. If you could get a photo of how they're mutilated, that'd be helpful. Now, does this seem ritualistic, or like maybe it's done by animal-like, for lack of a better way of saying it?
He told me that they could not identify a weapon or tool that may have been used. It'll be difficult to try to get photos, but if you're able to finance such endeavors, then I might be able to push. But my guy is if he tries to get a hold of them, it's a good chance that he'll end up fired. And then I don't have a guy anymore.
I'll ask around, but I'll let you know. Given the dates, when should be I'm talking into my inside head, but well, when should be the next victim?
In about 6 nights.
Okay. Well then, if you could send me the copy of the map and everything, I'll get on it, and maybe, since it is maybe these cases are linked, and we'll find similar, or an answer that comes together.
Yes, perhaps. Yeah, I'll send you an encrypted email, and we can go from there. Let me know if you hear more. I'll let you know if I hear more.
Okay.
Much
So,
appreciated.
Since they were all labeled Jane Does, they haven't been able to identify the bodies as well?
His, no. The other ones, possibly, but I'll see to find out whether they've actually tried to, or if they're just keeping them as unidentified for now.
Okay. Yeah, to my internal knowledge, the fact that I haven't seen any of something like this in the papers definitely spells of a political cover-up.
Yeah, somebody's trying to keep this under wraps.
All right then.
I'll let you guys each have perception alertness checks or perception awareness, if you have that at higher, to see if you guys happen to spot each other while your respective conversations are happening.
Two successes.
Okay, so you actually would have noticed Yoshi as he walked in. Yoshi's not going to notice you until he's done his chat, unless you come to interrupt him.
So there, she does not see the need to. Or to interrupt him, that is.
Okay. So yes, Yoshi, you see the fierce Gaki that you encountered the other night is also in this club.
Fate is a cruel mistress.
Fu will regard Yoshi, but unless Yoshi comes to her, she's not going to break away from her group, as she is definitely trying to win them over so she can actually take this little group of individuals for her own.
Well, with your guys' conversations, Joro gets an invite. They're going to go riding next weekend. They've got a bit of a challenge from another gang that they are feeling the need to try to outmaneuver. They said, it's a group called the Black Rats, and they kind of get into each other's faces from time to time, so they're going to do a drive-by just to prove that they're not afraid of them. So Juro's invited to bring his cycle and come along and join in the fun next weekend.
We are so down for that in Netflix.
So yeah, they gave you guys the in. They're talking like they assume you guys, or at least Juro already has his own motorcycle. So yeah, there's no. They're very pleased that you guys are all over that.
Given my conversation is over, I'm going to do as suggested and try and find someone who will give me some yin and some yang.
Okay, so yeah, make. How are you going to approach them? Are you just gonna try to mug somebody, or like what is your hunting approach here?
Well, I was gonna try and figure out who would be a good who the target is, see if I can infer anything, and then plan my approach. The least violent way probably would be better, but yeah.
And how are you planning on accessing your chi?
I guess I'd have to drink it since I'm only Dharma 1.
Okay. All right. So make your perception, and well, you already made a perception yang. So make a manipulation subterfuge roll or appearance subterfuge, depending on whether you're going to just go with body language or speaking. And the difficulty is only going to be 6 because your life sight reduces the penalty that your black cycle has given you.
Okay. So if I don't have the ability, I just roll straight manipulation.
Yeah, subterfuge. You don't get any penalties because it's a talent. So.
All right, just making sure. So 2 successes.
Okay. Now I'll need you to roll your Po to access fangs. Okay. So you are not able to access your demon chi, so you cannot grow fangs to be able to feed.
What would I have to roll to see if they might have a what do you call it? Blood drinking kink? I know it's a huge what do you say, unlikelihood, but we might as well see.
Sorry, what are you wanting to do there, Grant?
See if they have a blood drinking kink, like they're blood drunk or other way around.
In this club?
Well, no. Given the setting, I assumed that I'd have to go elsewhere to drink from them.
Yes, you can. I said I wasn't going to interrupt too much, but so your internal monologue is pointing out how the rumors say that the Western Kinjin don't need to worry about and can feed whenever they want. If you just let me take control, I'll be able to get chi for us. So can you roll your yin and I'll roll your po? Sorry, you roll your hun and I roll your po. And let's see if your shadow takes over for the rest of your night. Difficulty is your willpower.
Double check. Yeah.
Alright. So you don't lose control, and yeah, you're gonna have to leave this establishment to go elsewhere to try to find sustenance.
Okay.
And that will take you to the tea house that Gakusha Hiro owns, because he does have chi-infused tea available as well as safer hunting.
Oh, well, that'll work.
Okay. So yeah, Fu, you've got your plans starting to get into motion. You do notice Yoshi kind of wanders the crowd a little bit and then slides out.
All right.
But sounds like that's more something you're just taking note of. So is there anything else that you want to get with your hopefully new posse someday right now?
Is there a specific one among them that appears to be sort of the head of the household?
Yeah, actually, you know what? With how well you guys are getting in, there's no secrets on that. It will introduce him actually for you. He goes by the name Akira. It's probably not his birth name. They kind of chuckle when they say it, but it is an actual name, so.
Does he wear like an orange jacket or a red jacket?
Yes, he does. He's not subtle about it at all.
Wonderful. Fu will sort of, when she has the chance, she'll sort of instruct Juro to sort of mingle with the others. Sort of try and strike up conversation with them and, get to relating with the other guys of this congregation, so to speak.
Okay.
And she is going to approach Akira.
Okay. Yeah, he's very open to chatting with you and stuff. How are you doing, young lady? Your man's letting you off his arm, I see.
Juro? Oh. Juro is dark and mysterious in his own way, so he seems to have no problems when I venture out of my own. Sort of lets me recharge what I need to recharge internally to be able to be the sheath to his sword, so to speak.
He chuckles at that. And what is it that you need to recharge?
Life? She'll hold up both hands and sort of gesture around. Jiro is a man who is very, very serious in everything that he takes part in. Once he commits to something, it is an all-consuming drive for him, which sometimes leaves me left to sort of stand waiting, loyally.
Well, loyalty's good. Having a guy that's driven is good. Seems, though, that a little flower like you will wither without enough sunlight.
She'll chuckle at that sincerely. He makes sure that there is enough sunlight for me to bask in. Just enough. He doesn't want me to get too accustomed to the light. Otherwise, I may pull away from him, or even recoil from him.
Well, that's a shame. It seems to be such a waste. Perhaps he wouldn't mind if somebody else was able to shine some light to help you grow.
She'll raise a suggestive brow with a smirk.
Especially if it would help him with his driven plans.
I suppose that he would need to know where he's deciding to commit his drive to. What exactly their plans were, to see if they coincided with his own.
Well, I think things are going in the right direction. I know the boys would feel better if we could at least make sure that we can rely on him. If he's as loyal and reliable as you say, then I'm sure we won't be disappointed with his assistance. However, there are other ways to make sure that he gets the right acceptance.
That sounds almost like a sales pitch, Akira-san.
Oh, I'm just saying that, it doesn't hurt to make a good first impression on those that have to make such decisions.
And what would a good impression entail?
Well, if he could spare you from his arm for more than just a few minutes, I'm sure we could have a more private discussion on the subject.
She'll raise a brow at that. You think that Jiro would allow something that keeps him stable and centered to mingle in the wind with yet someone else?
Well, if it caused problems, I wouldn't want to cause any problems. Now, if
I
you
don't know if
excuse
it
me,
would. I just simply was curious if that's what you thought.
if you'll excuse me, though, I must use the washroom. And he does not try to hide the veiled hint there as he gets up and walks through the crowd.
She'll get up and sort of in passing, allow Jiro to know what she's going off to do, and for him just to remain passive and cool and stoic as he's been all night.
Okay. He's good with that.
And she'll make her way to the washroom.
Okay. Make a perception awareness check for me.
Awareness or alertness?
Awareness.
Ooh.
Okay. No problem. So you head to the back, you walk through the doorway, and you're thinking to yourself, this is a really spacious washroom. I would have expected it to be more crowded. And then you realize that you're not actually in a washroom. The room that you've walked into actually appears to be just a blank room. It's not modern fashioned. It looks old. The wood itself doesn't look old, but it's styled like maybe a sitting room from about 100 years ago. And it's quiet. You can't even hear through the closed door behind you the sound of the music from the club.
She'll look around and immediately begin to key up just a bit as she sort of feels a bit on edge. This seems to be a bit out of place, even for Kyoto. And the fact that there's no sound coming from the other room is definitely, I would imagine, an indication that there's a bit more going on here than what one might normally think.
Okay. There's no other doorways except for the door behind you, which on this side looks again like an older fashioned door than the one that you had pushed open to come into the room. And there's just a simple bench seat and no other furniture.
Is Akira in here?
No, nobody else is in here.
I'd like to spend a point of Yang Chi to activate Yang or Life Sight.
Okay. All right. Activating Life Sight. You spend 3 rounds of concentration. I'll get you to make a perception occult roll. Difficulty will be 7 because of the strength of the wall here.
Okay. I'll spend a point of willpower.
Okay.
3 successes.
Okay. There doesn't seem to be a reflection of the room within the Yang realm. There seems to be some sort of maelstrom just around the outside of the wall. Closer inspection, it kind of looks like vines of Yang Qi energy kind of wrapping around it, and you can't see past the vines.
Are these vines tangible?
With Life Sight, you can see them. You wouldn't be able to physically touch them without crossing over.
Okay. Then I am going to spend a point of Yin Chi to activate Ghost Sight.
Okay. Activating Ghost Sight, you then can make your Perception and Occult. Same. This actually difficulty, I believe, was 8, not 7.
We'll drop another willpower point on this.
Okay.
And I'm glad I did.
Yes, that was really good.
Too
So
many botches.
you can't really see anything across the shroud.
She'll regard the bench at this point, and she'll allow the ghost sight to go away if she's not able to see anything with it.
Okay.
She'll go to the bench and sit down.
Okay. How long do you stay seating?
She'll go into try and go into a light meditative trance and stay there for at least an hour or so. Maybe more,
Okay.
depending on if anything begins to happen.
Okay, make a... Oh, that would be... Make a stamina meditation roll.
Alright. Would my specialty in tireless go here, or be useful here?
Yes.
Okay. Depending on difficulty, 3 successes.
Okay. Yeah, those 3 successes will go. And I'm just going to double check something here too on your Dharma. On whether sitting still meditating for an hour is necessarily going to cause a problem. Passion, impulsive. No, I'm not gonna. I don't think it'll necessarily be a moment of blindness, but yeah, you sit there in a bit of a trance. The hour goes by fairly quickly from your perspective. Nothing changes within your natural or yang sight.
If nothing happens, she's going to stand up to leave. And she'll walk to the door and open it.
Okay. You step through the doorway and you're back in the club, standing in front of the men's washroom.
She'll turn back and open the door again to the men's washroom.
You open the door and there's a guy on his way out of the washroom, and he kind of looks a little surprised and kind of gives you a bit of a grin. And you can see what you would expect the inside of a washroom to appear to be in behind him.
She'll kind of frown and then go back to see if Akira is back up at the alcove.
He is. You can make a perception empathy roll.
Mm-hmm. One success.
Okay. He doesn't seem upset or annoyed. He kind of gives a little bit of a half grin at you as you approach back up. Later on, because quite a bit of time has passed, so as you guys go to leave, Juro mentions that he made a weird comment to him that he didn't quite understand, but then thinking about what you told him, he thinks Akira seems impressed that Juro had that kind of control over his woman, that he wouldn't let her do such things, even if it meant opening up the doors for him. So he's like, whatever game you were playing to make him wait, it seems to pay it off. He seems even more impressed than if something happened.
I am rolling my manipulation subterfuge on Juro with 5 successes. As she's just like, but of course I would make him wait and make it seem as though I was entirely loyal to you. The game is a dangerous one to play, but when it gives us the upper hand, it is quite easy to see how easily demons like or devils like myself can manipulate the mere mortals of this world.
Excellent. One at that, with you two going off to your respective places. We shall end this scene, which brings our prologue chapter to a close. So we'll see you guys again after our downtime as the two active members of our city each have questions, concerns, and quests that they are pursuing, and perhaps other members of the Gaki court shall assist them on their way. So until then, sayonara.